by Louisa May Alcott is a nice book, classic, and generations of readers, young and old, have fallen in love with the Match Sisters of Louisa May Alcott's most endearing novel, Little Women. This story is loosely based on Alcott's own life and follows the Match sisters from adolescence to adulthood, with all the joys and sorrows in between. It is a story of how the four sisters, Jo, Meg, Amy, and Beth, find their place in the world under the. So, it is a story of how these four sisters, Jo, Meg, Amy, and Beth, find their place in the world under the loving and watchful eyes of their mother. It is also about the sisters' devotion to one another and their struggles in New England during the Civil War. What becomes of the sisters as they fight being stereotyped while being enmeshed in social customs and norms? How does each what becomes of the sisters as they fight being stereotyped while being enmeshed in social customs and norms? How does each girl handle the delicate balance between family ties and personal growth? So, Little Women, which is a coming of age novel, depicts the society of 19th century New England, and it remains one of the most loved books of all time. So, here's the tale in short, and let's have a look at it. We have an introduction in this, we have notes on the author, characters and focus, others you will meet, as well as part 1 and part 2 of the tale, and then questions also that follow. So let's have a look first at the foreword for this by none other than Ruskin Bond, the famous writer. Drama and eccentricity are at the root of every close-knit family's bond. Indian families, though, are at the very forefront of it. In the early 1960s, when new colonies were still settling in Delhi post independence, in the area of Rajouri Garden, there lived a lively Punjabi middle class family with whom I nearly always stayed when I was in Delhi. In the small house, there was a Babiji, Granny, the head of the family, who had complete control over her large household, and with tremendous confidence and enthusiasm, presided over the lives of her 3 sons, a daughter, 2 daughter-in-laws, and 14 grandchildren. So even when her husband had been alive, Babiji had dominated the family. The underlying tensions had always been obvious in the house, yet there was love, commitment, and also unity among them, and this kept the family above everything. And so it is world over, not just India. Family is what sticks by you always, in times of sorrow and in times of happiness. I read somewhere that Louisa May Alcott loosely based Little Women on her own life and her 3 sisters. You see, inspiration too comes from those closest to you. This is a widely popular children's fiction, also that will take the reader in a simplified version through the passage from childhood to womanhood of the Match sisters, Meg, Jo, Beth, and Amy. I would suggest that you do not mistake this classic novel for one of the themes of domesticity and femininity, for it is much beyond that. Its colorful characters reflect a social and familial reality and draw you in with their vulnerability. The moral lessons and the historical significance apart, these little women will charm you with their innocence and witful insights. So sit back, enjoy this best-selling novel, and lose yourself in its old world charm while you snuggle warmly in bed with a cup of tea, as Ruskin Bond says. So, in an introduction to this, without a doubt, Little Women is Louisa May Alcott's best known work. It is an enduring classic following the lives of the spirited math sisters. The book traces the sisters' contrasting personalities and also their fortunes over a period of 15 years from childhood to becoming adults and their encounters with the struggles posed by employment, societal norms, and marriage. The story's charm and innocence continues to engage readers even today, despite the fact that the family structure depicted in the book is very different from a contemporary domestic life. So, Joe March is one of the most loved characters in children's literature. In fact, children, both boys and girls, can identify with her. Though in the present day, the March girls seem too good, but in Alcott's society, the girls were considered flawed as they were selfish, vain, given to temper, and also bashful. So Alcott wrote Little Women to earn money. What she never imagined, however, was that it would enchant readers generation after generation and become a classic of children's fiction.